Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by the Forge this evening. Tonight I want to show you something I'm really excited about, and that is a soldier's knife. This is made for a military contractor who will be going into harm's way, and he's going to have this knife with him. So let me cover some of the specifications here. I'll also talk about the sheath because this is pretty sweet as well. So what you see here is a knife design loosely based after the knife used by, I think his name is Leon, in the Resident Evil game series. So you see it's recurve with a spear point. Resident Evil actually does a really good job researching their kit in their games. I don't personally play the games. I think they're a bit dark, but this knife design is what the guy wanted. I looked at it and realized, yeah, this is actually a pretty good design. So I gave it a few alterations, and here it is. So what makes this knife good? Well, you got that centered point, and you've got a wide part here, so you recurve with the spear point, but that spear point is sharpened. What that means is you're gonna get really good penetration on targets. So here I am going through 4 layers of canvas like it's nothing. If I try that with this K-bar here, it's not gonna be able to do it. And this is kind of military standard, but it will never out-penetrate this guy. This thing is just unbelievable the way it penetrates because of that double edge. Now, a lot of knives, don't go anywhere. A lot of knives taper towards the front, so they get thinner, and some even more so than this. And so when you stab in, say here's where you're stabbing, as you go in, your wound channel narrows at the most vital part, right? That's where the vital organs are, that's where your arteries are, all the stuff that you need to get through to stop the target is deeper in. And if you've got a knife that's narrowing towards the front, well, that is minimal damage. Here we have a penetrator that's actually thicker towards the front. So what you're gonna get here is a wider wound channel right there that's deeper in. You see that? This is displacing more, cutting more, severing more, doing more damage deeper in than other knives will. Even the K-bar, see, it's just pretty same width all throughout and tapering towards the end, whereas this has a wider portion towards the end. Again, means wider, more effective wounds deeper inside the target. That's one of the other reasons why this is incredibly effective. You pump that in there a few times and it's doing a lot of damage, again, especially because that sharpened false edge, you know, that's nicking a kidney, nicking the heart. You can imagine that is going to really be a game changer, so to speak, when it comes to rapid thrusts and emergency type situations. That's why it's made this way. Now, the reason that just this back is sharpened and not the whole thing is because if you sharpen the entire spine, then you've got 2 short bevels like this. And these 2 short bevels just don't produce a sharp edge. I mean, it's just not gonna cut. If I did that with this knife, then we'd see a lot of blood here. This knife's got wide, see, a very wide convex ground bevel. So it is going to cut really effectively. Just blast through that. Unbelievable. It's gonna cut super effectively because of those wide bevels and because there's not so much curve in the belly. There's tons of curve right there in the belly. That means that this kind of rolls off your target. It's not gonna really cut your target. It's gonna roll off of it. It's not cutting deep in because of that curvature here. See, it's much more flat there for me. So for me, when I do it, I'm cutting into my target. It's actually penetrating through because of that. So you got that low point, you got that wide edge bevel, that causes this thing to just bite deeply. I was doing some testing with this, chopping with it, kind of survival style, and man, it chops very well because of that width right there. Also got a decently thick spine, 3/16 of an inch there with a very light taper to keep a lot of that thickness in the blade. So we've got our swell here that gets penetration, that causes trauma deep within the unit we're penetrating. We've got that centered point. Its false edge is sharpened, but the whole back isn't sharpened. That's gonna let us maintain a nice wide edge bevel so we can do, again, just good, deep cutting tasks. I can do some survival tasks with this, look at that. I'm already making a feather stick, and then boom, I turn that into a flame and we're ready to go. So this is great survival knife and also combat knife. Moving back, we've got the curved section right in here. I love that section for all sorts of utility work. And that's when you just do your utility. You're cutting your cord, you bring it up in that little swedge right there and just pop it through. You're good to go. I do that with everything. When I'm cutting, fix that, get those out of there. Cutting stuff like this, I'm gonna hold it, I'm gonna get right in there in that recurve section, and that's just where my work's gonna happen. It just is really nice for all sorts of utility. And it's got that curved presentation that bites deeply into material. And again, if we're talking combative style and you're in really close and you can just put it in and draw back, put it in and draw back, pulling across, that curve is going to bite down deep. Just picture this arm here, and I put this here and I pull back. That hump is pressing in. That's what makes it good for combative type engagements, but the same thing that makes it good for utility work. This swell is also getting me more weight further from my pivot point, which allows for really powerful chops. And that's for survival type stuff, you know. When I'm making these friction fire deals, this is all hewed with a knife. And so I do that with a knife. I'll chop, 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 and then I'll come down with it and make it nice and flat, and voila, you can start your fires with it. So really good for stuff like that. Let me also mention, this tip is extremely durable. It's durable because of the width of the blade and because of the brevity of that false edge. So I've pried through an entire 2x4 with this knife. Just stab, twist until I get through the whole 2x4, and the tip is fine. Super strong tip. I dropped this one on concrete too, accidentally, and it really did not damage that tip for anything beyond what you could easily fix with a stone. So that's our blade. Blade's 7.5 inches long, so it's gonna get the job done. This whole thing though is only 11.5 ounces, so it's not terribly heavy. Let's move back to the handle. You've got brown micarta there, it's nicely textured, and you got some good jimping right here on the back. You can really lock your thumb into that, do a saber grip, you're not gonna lose your grip on it. Also just the swell right there in the choil to give you some more purchase on there. Then the little hump and the back there, so you don't lose it this way and you don't lose it this way. That's comfortable. There's nothing protruding. Like I said, I took it out, chopping with it, stabbing with it, threw it a bunch too, which it throws actually really nicely. And nothing is abrading or uncomfortable to the hand. And then you've got your protruding tang there, just so you can smash stuff or smash it into stuff. 5-inch handle. Okay, so that's the way this is. That's the way that it's designed the way it is. It's fast, it's light, but it's super effective, and it's just as good for utility as it is for combatives. Just a great design, and I'm a big fan of the knife. It's differentially heat treated, soft on the back, and hard on the edge. It's got really just a great temper to it. I've batoned it through brass rods, 1/4-inch brass rods. Don't get any messes with the edge. The edge stays nice and sharp. So there you have it. Now, how about the sheath? This is a Kydex sheath. I set these up at 3/4 inch so that it could accommodate the Tech Lock, which is set for 3/4 inch. These Tech Locks are pretty intense. They go really well on Molly gear, and they can go really well just on a normal belt like this. Just throw it on, put one space back here, and snaps in. You can hold it really well. So That's set up to where it can take a Tek-Lok if you'd like. Do that out. Now, the sheath. There's not even any rattle here, and that's not gonna come out. That's just super tight in there. In fact, you might think it's too tight, but here's the deal. Cut down there, it's all smooth, by the way. So when you go for this knife, you've got a full grip on your knife, and you just pull, and your grip's right there. You don't need to adjust your grip, you don't need to go back here and pull it out and then work your way up and then get it. This is kind of emergency style here. If you've got it out, it's ready to go right away. I mean, you've got the grip you need on it right away. That's why I have those cutouts there and there, so you can just get a full grip and go to town with whatever needs to happen. So it's great retention. It's very instinctive draw. Again, with the full grip, there's no safety features to the feet, no snaps or anything like that you got to get past. And sturdy stuff. I think this is the 0.8 millimeter, or whatever that rating is for Kydex. And there you go. I'm really happy with this knife. Look at that. It's nicely balanced, isn't it? That's probably why it throws so well. Comfortable in forward grip. Like I said, it's fast. It's very quick. Reverse grip very quickly. It's grippy, and it's just great for, again, utility and combat both. So, just slicing, just slicing. I mean, just chunks flying off there, chunks flying off there, right there. Chunks everywhere. So, that's great. I'm not sure I'm calling it yet, but if you'd like one, like it, message me here on Facebook. Look at my Instagram page. The link should be in the description. I'm gonna have a website up soon, so you can check that out. But there you have it. This is a real high-grade military tool. All hands done right here. I mean, this is what made the knife, and that, and a little grinder over there. But it's hand forged, it's hand finished, just like everything else that's going on here. And these little guys are going out. I gotta do a video for those. This is mine, of course, and it's not going anywhere. So, thank you for watching. Comment below if you'd like to. I'd like to see your comments and then I could respond to some of them. Hit the like button, subscribe, because there's gonna be more videos like this coming out. Let me know if you want to see more test videos. I do a lot of testing with my knives, so if you want to see some testing, just mention it and we'll get some test videos out there. But thanks for watching, and I hope you come back soon. Have a good evening.